Hi, welcome to Bear Witness. I'm Robert Bettis. When I started this channel, I said that we were going to talk about animal conservation, animal husbandry, and animal facts. Well, recently I have noticed that we have been only talking about animals. So today we are going to talk about animal husbandry. What it is, why it's important, and how you can start your path into this career. So animal husbandry is the form of you taking care of an animal. I've had a gentleman say that he thought it was the breeding of farm animals. Some people have different meanings for this name. For me and the people that I worked with, animal husbandry is you doing everything you can to aid and assist this animal and the people that are helping take care of it. And what I mean is help take care of this animal is like a vet. You'll help the vet. So your job is to feed them, clean them, give them medicine, clean up their habitat, and monitor them. That is what you do in animal husbandry. Now there are different levels of this husbandry. There's husbandry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending where you work at. There could just be animal husbandry, or animal specialist, or animal care specialist. There's different names for it. So the main thing that I'm going to do right now is go deeper into this topic. Feeding it. You have to know what animal you're working with because each animal eats different things. Like koi fish, we have fish pellets for them. As caiman crocodile, they'll eat silvers or sardines. And that's one thing that they like. Or they like fruit, or they like different things. As well as piranha, they love fruit. As what we've noticed monitoring certain piranhas. Now, one of my jobs was to hand feed bamboo reef sharks and blacktip reef sharks. So they'll eat sardines, squid, things like that. But you also have to work up to that point. When I started, I was at the bottom of the barrel and I was cleaning habitats. I was picking up horse feces every day for 8 hours a day, and I was perfectly fine with it. I was happy doing my job because that's still animal husbandry. There isn't a day where you're not going to clean up after an animal. That's your job. Your job is to clean it. If it was in the wild, it would go and just keep on walking on. It would leave it behind. But since it's not, you have to make sure it's always clean and sanitary for you and for the animal that you're caring for. So after that, I worked my way up. Just kept on working and working and working. And eventually, I got to husbandry 5, which was I was caring for 2 different kind of husbandries, marine and mammal. At that point, you have to know, okay, I'm working with this animal today, what do I need to know? Well, it's a lot to handle, but in the end, it's very rewarding. Jumping into why it's important. This animal needs you to care for it because there's no one else to care for it. You are its guardian, its mother, its father, whoever you are very important to this animal. You're going to feed it, like I said, clean it, watch it, and when I mean watch, it's monitor. And you're going to make sure just everything is going perfect or to the expectation of the vet or the zoo, aquarium, conservation, anything you're working for. You want to meet their standards and then go on top of that. When I was doing this, I made sure everything was clean in the morning and at night because you're going to go in and you're going to clean this habitat, but throughout the day it's going to feed, it's going to go to the bathroom, all that stuff. So at night I would clean it again. Why? Because at night probably going to eat again, it's probably going to go to the bathroom again. So you get up in the morning and you have to clean it again. You have to make sure this animal is safe and clean. Think of it as your child. This is your child every day. This animal relies on you 24/7, 365 days a year. Why? Because without you, they don't live. You are the main reason why that species still has another member of it alive. Think of it that way. Now, if you don't like animals, then just click away. Go click on something else. But if you love animals, and if you love just watching them, dreaming to pet one, dreaming to feed one day, exotic or domestic, it doesn't matter. If you can go to work every day, picking up after an animal, feeding it, washing it, caring for it, and watching it, just standing there and watching it for hours, then you know animal husbandry is perfect for you. It doesn't matter if you're in a tank, suited up, or laced up in boots outside. That's another thing. Always make sure you have the proper gear for whichever area you are working in. Me, like I said, I had two. So in the morning, I would go, get to the horse stables, clean them all, put new hay down, feed them, water them, come from outside, get undressed, put on a wetsuit, get the food, feed all the sharks, feed all the stingrays, feed all the fish, get undressed, get dressed back up in my outside gear, go out, wash them, brush them, get them ready to go and check on other animals that I care for also. I was everywhere. I was in birds, reptiles, mammals, and marine husbandry. So think about all those animals in each category. I was taking care of most of them. Not just by myself, there was other people, but I was knowledgeable in which animals we had that I was able to work with them. This career is important because you are the nurse to the vet, which is the doctor. So if he says every day you need this amount of medicine for this animal, got it. Your job is to give that medicine to that animal. The aquarium that I worked at, we helped in rehabilitation for certain animals. They would come to our aquarium. We would analyze what's wrong with them. What's going on? Can we help them? Can they be returned back to the wild? If they can't, we'll get back to that in a minute. But say they were able to get back into the wild after a little rehab. Cool. Let's call the vet. The vet comes and he says, who's the lead husbandry or the main person for this animal? Whoever it is, you'll go. In this case, it was me and my lead. So we show up, and it was a Moriel named Morris. And we called him Morris because when he arrived to us, the only person that could feed him was this gentleman named Morris. So we decided to call him Morris. So at this time, Morris was dropping low on his health, wasn't eating, wasn't moving, nothing. So the vet came and was like, okay, well, let's make sure what it is. Let's check it. So after all that's done, after checking it, he's like, okay, he needs about 4 to 6 weeks of rehab. And rehab is just letting him swim, getting him his proper medication, dressing any wounds that they found. If he had surgery, putting ointment on the surgical area, and making sure everything's clean, making sure he's clean. And the reason why I say you have to make sure that the habitat is clean, because say that wound anywhere opens up. Well, if the habitat is full of bacteria and gunk and stuff, it could get into that wound and potentially harm or kill this animal. So you don't want that. You want to make sure everything's clean, everything's good. When you have to disinfect with bleach, you want to remove into a temporary one, clean it, let it dry, get all the smell out, put it back, and it's perfectly good to go. So when someone asks, well, why is that important? Why do you want to do that? That's really stupid. It's not. Because without you, there's no animal. A lot of people don't understand that animal husbandry is one of the backbones to saving an animal species. Because without you, no one else is caring for them. So let's talk about how you can start your way into animal husbandry. The main thing you want is experience. And when I tell people this, their main thing to say is, yeah, but who's going to hire me if I need experience? Go volunteer. Don't think about the money right now. The money's going to come later. That's part of one of the benefits of giving your time into this animal. Right now, go to aquariums, conservations, zoos. If you live next to SeaWorld, go to SeaWorld. The way I did it is that I got a job my senior year at SeaWorld. I was a lifeguard. I got my lifeguard certification, my AED certification, my CPR certification, and my first aid certification. After that, it was a great experience. I loved it. I was like, you know what? I want to move on to something else. So I went to the aquarium in my town. And I was like, look, I have these certifications. The lady was interviewing me. She's like, oh, that's amazing. Do you have anything else? I told her I have knowledge in free diving and scuba diving. And she said, oh, that's great. Obviously, it's an aquarium, so you need to be able to do some of those things. So they started me off on guest services. I wasn't even near an animal yet. I was selling tickets just to get into the aquarium. I didn't see one single animal. At the end of that first week, I told my boss, if there's ever an opening, give me a shot. And in my head, I said, what's the worst that can happen? She says, no, you need this. Okay. But she could say yes. So I told her, if there's ever an opening, I want a shot. I can take care of this animal. And at the time, It was sharks, because I did so much research on them. So she goes, matter of fact, Robert, we have 2 openings right now in the marine husbandry. Do you have a wetsuit? I told her yes. I didn't have one at the time. She says, okay, perfect. She says, next Friday is the first day you're going to be in the animal husbandry. That's your training day. I says, perfect. Thank you so much. Then I was worried. I was like, I don't have a wetsuit. What am I going to do? That Thursday, I got paid. So I went to a dive shop. I'm not going to say the name, but I went to a dive shop. I got measured. I told him, I want to buy a wetsuit. Like, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. And that wetsuit that I showed y'all on my previous video is the same wetsuit. So I got measured. They put on a card. It says, you know what? Is there a way I could do it online so it could ship to my house instead of me, because I got other things that I have to do. Like, oh yeah, take the card, put the numbers in, and you're good to go. And I says, perfect, thank you. So I took that card with all of my sizes. I went to Amazon and I bought a wetsuit off of Amazon. Saves you so much more money. So much more. Then I did 2-day shipping. So it was there. And just, I was so glad they scheduled me off on that Friday. So my training didn't start till that previous Monday. So I got the wetsuit on Friday. And then I was like, okay, I need to know how this works. So that Saturday and Sunday, I practiced putting it on and everything. And that Monday, I walk in for my training. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that, Robert. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Because if they scheduled me, I wouldn't have had it yet. So I go in Monday, put it on. She's like, oh my gosh, this looks so new. I'm like, oh, I've been taking care of it. I wash it and everything. She's like, oh, perfect. You know how to wash wetsuits? That's great. Well, what she didn't know is that over the weekend, I YouTubed how to wash wetsuits. It was it was something I was like, maybe I should do it. I was like, do it. I'm glad I did that. You need to look up everything about your gear. Trust me, if you understand it more, you're golden. She's like, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make sea monkeys. I was like, sea monkeys? I was like, that's weird. I know some of y'all thinking like, what? Well, sea monkeys is another word for brine shrimp. She's like, perfect, Robert. We're going to go feed jellies. And I was like, oh, cool. Now, if y'all don't know what jellies are jellyfish. But they're called jellies because they're not actual fish. So remember that. So at the top of the jelly tank, there's a little bitty hole with some spikes on it. So you put that bottle in those spikes, and those spikes turn in. And you squeeze it. And all those brine shrimp come out, and they go into the jellyfish tank. Well, the jellyfish eat the brine shrimp. Take it out, those spikes come back up, so nothing comes out. So when you go to volunteer, call them. I know SeaWorld has a program, most zoos and aquariums have a program, and conservations definitely do, because they will take free help anywhere they can get it. But if you know your stuff, and if you're confident in what you talk about, and if you're confident in how you present yourself, and you know for a fact that you want this job, and that you know a lot about this animal, and this animal, and that animal, pick one animal right now. Know everything you can about it. Then go find that animal in an aquarium, wherever, because that's where you're going to shine the most. And that's where they're going to be like, okay, well, let's take you over here and you can learn here. Or they're going to bring someone else in. They're going to have you show them, oh, this, and this. They're going to move you up somewhere else, and you keep growing. So don't ever get discouraged if someone tells you no, because there's that one person who's going to tell you yes. I want to thank you for watching today. This is Bear Witness. I'm Robert Bettis. Bye.